Dear students, welcome back to Management and Entrepreneurship for IT Industries. Myself, Professor Subramanya Bhagat, your Computer Science Coordinator. Today's class, we are going to study about these concepts, especially a very important concept, organizations. Organizations, principles of organization, types of organizations, their line organization and functional organizations, and yeah, line and staff organizations, matrix organizations, all these things we are going to study. First, let me ask one question to you. What is an organization? How do you define an organization? Organization involves division of work among people to achieve a specific objectives and to implement predetermined strategies. Organization is the foundation to the structure of management. It is the backbone of management. I call it as a backbone of management. After the objective of an enterprise are determined, the plan preferred, and next step in the management process is to organize the activities. That is nothing but execute the plan to attain the objectives of the enterprise. Now, there are some important definitions we will study. Conergy and O'Donnell, what he says, organization is a grouping of activities necessary to attain enterprise objectives and the assignment of each grouping to a manager with authority necessary to supervise it. This is one definition. Another definition, yeah, Louis A. Allen, what he says, the process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed. First, you have to identify the work to be performed and you have to identify the process. Next, defining and delegating the responsibility, authority, and establishing a relationship for the purpose of enabling people to work more effectively together in accomplishment objectives. This is called organization, according to Louis A. Allen. Next definition, Joseph. The structure and process by which cooperative group of human beings allocates its task among its member, identifies a relationship and integrates its activities towards a common objectives. That's called organization. MC Farad, what he says, an identifiable group of people contributing their efforts towards the attainment of goals. Now, organizational process chart. Before going to the organizational process chart, let me tell you something. That's the nature and purpose of organizations. The dynamic human element of the organization is formed by group of people in a certain organization. Take our organization. Who are the assets? You are all the assets. What I call dynamic human elements of the organization is formed by group of people. Group of people are the asset. Organization helps in identifying the various tasks to be performed which are assigned to the individual to perform so as achieve the common objectives, common purpose of the organizations. It ensures to have a coordination among people working in various departments, ensure integrated efforts to achieve organizational objectives or goals. It delegates authority to the managers with responsibilities for the discharge of their duties at different hierarchical levels in the organizations. Organization is achieving financial, physical, material, human resources. Organizations are part of large environment, hence they are influenced by external environments. Now, if you observe this, create a job design. Okay, this is an organizational process chart. First, we have to give a title to the job. So create a job design. Establish objectives. What are the objectives and what are the plans? Then list the tasks to be accomplished and the employees required to perform the activities to reach that organization goals. That all these things comes under create the job. Next one is departmentation. What is departmentation? Classify and group the necessary work activities into manageable units like a functional, product, matrix, etc. Next, delegation of authority. Assign and define work activities, specific individuals and groups. That is called delegation of authority. Next is span of control. Assign authority to responsive individuals, groups carry out the assigned tasks. Last one is chain of control. Define the hierarchy of relationships within the organizations using the organization charts. Next one is EP object principles of organizations. Principles of organizations. Here, principles of organization is essential for the development of efficient structure and the growth of its organizations. Principles of organization is as follows. First one is objectives. These are all the things available in principles of organization. First one is objectives. What is the objective? The organizational structure is influenced by objectives. There must be unity of objectives so that all efforts can be concentrated on that set of goals. So objective should be very clear. Second one is specialization. Object is second one is I call it as specialization. Wait for 2 seconds. Yeah. This, yeah, specializations. What it says, try to understand the concepts, what I'm telling. Specialization, effective organization must include specializations, perceived division of work, facilities, specializations. Next one is nothing but a coordination. Coordination says to achieve a common goal, coordination among a group of people in an organization is necessary. Coordination is the orderly arrangement of group of efforts provided unity of actions in the pursuit of common purpose. Clear, unbroken line of authority. What is this? It points out the scalar principles of the chain of command. The line of authority flows from the highest executive to the lowest managerial level, and the chain of command should be broken. Next one is responsibility. Responsibility means superior should be held responsible for the acts of its subordinates. These are all the principles of organizations. Next one is authority. Authority, yeah. Authority should be equal to responsibilities. Each manager should have enough authority to accomplish the tasks. Next one, wait. Efficiency, okay. That's efficiency. The organization structure should enable the enterprise to attain objectives with the lowest possible cost. Last one is next one is delegation. Decisions should be made at the lowest competent level. Authority responsibility should be delegated as per done the organizations as possible. Next is very important concept. Yeah, wait for 2 minutes. We will start. Yeah, unity of command. That's very important. Each person should accountable to a single superior. If an individual has to report to only one superior, there is a sense of personal responsibilities to one person for results. So unity of command is must and should. Span of control. Superior at a higher level should not have more than 6 immediate subordinates. Communication. For the effective business performance, a good communication is essential in organization. Flexibility. The organizations expected to provide and build a divide to facilitate growth and expansions without dislocation. It should not be rigid of the inelastic. So what I call principles of organizations, our valuation scheme should contain these points or objectives, specialization, coordination, clear unbreakable line of authority, responsibility, authority, efficiency, delegation, and yeah, wait. Unity of commands, span of control, communication, and flexibility. Next one, types of organizations. Another important question is types of organizations. Either it may be line or I'll call military, scalar organization or functional organization, matrix organizations, line and staff organizations, and committee type organization. This is also one of the very important questions. Okay, line organization. Now, what is that line organization? Anybody can guess. This is the simplest and the earliest form of organization. It is also known as a military or traditional or scalar hierarchical form of organizations. Under this, what I call under this, the line of authority flows vertically downward from top to bottom. Top to bottom. If we object this example, yeah, wait. Yeah. Object is general manager is the next line sales manager, product manager, personal manager, next level assistant manager, next foreman, next work. This is a line. I call it as a line organization. Okay. Next, what are the advantages? Anybody can guess the advantages of this? Wait. I was explaining you about a line organization. Wait for 2 minutes. Yeah. Line organizations, yeah, wait. Yeah, line organizations, anybody can say the advantages of this line organization. Advantage is simple. Line organization is effective. Coordination of activity is possible. Second point, prompt decision making. It is definitely authority at every level. Next, the system is flexible or I call elastic. One can easily adjust the organization to changing conditions. Next, responsibility and authorities are very clearly defined. If your object is assistant manager, what is his role? Foreman, what is his role? Workers, what is his role? Everything is crystal clear. It's the most economical and effective way. Ensures excellent discipline in the enterprises, very individual known to whom is responsible. What is his job is very clear. So everything will be crystal clear. These are the advantages. Anybody can say the disadvantage? Yes, everything on advantages that disadvantages also will be there. In this disadvantages, it neglects the specialists. Yeah, here it neglects the specialists. Next one, it overloads the PV executives. Yeah, overload to a PV executives. It requires a high type of supervisory personally to meet the challenges to impose it in the absence of specialists in advisors. It is limited to very small concerns. Due to lack of specialization, perhaps there is a more wastage of materials, man hours. Okay, this is called line organization. Next is functional organization. What is functional organization? The functional organization structure is the common model found in most organizations. The structure of functional organization is shown in this figure that it divided into smaller groups based on specialization functional areas as per the finance, marketing, human resources, IT, etc. The structure provides a greater operational efficiency when the employees are grouped in based on expertise and share the same functions performances. If you object the C, below line operations, marketing, sales, finance, HR, then below line plant manager, regional manager. Okay, all these things you are seeing these things here. Here, advantages it is based on expert knowledge. Advantages this functional organization structure based on expert knowledge. Division of labor is planned, not incidental. Ensures cooperation and teamwork among the workers. There's a separation for mental functions from manual functions. It has mass production by standardization and specializations. Okay, what are disadvantages? Coordination of the efforts of various functional foremen is difficult. It weakens the disciplinary controls by making the workers work under several different bosses. And workers get confused about authority and activity foreman. The system is very costly as large number of specialists are required to appointed. Next, line and staff organizations. The line maintains the discipline stability and the staff provides the expert information. In a line and staff organization shown in this figure, if you observe this, it's very clear. Managing director under this financial advisor, technical advisor, economic advisor, assistant MD, below that production manager. They are again R&D, system manager, technical expert, industrials, etc. In a line or staff organization, the line authority remains the same as it does in the line organization. It previously discussed it already. We have discussed these things. The specialists stand ready to with their specialty to serve line managers and when their services are called for to collect information to give help which will enable the line officially to carry out their activities better. The staff officers don't have any power of commands in organizations as they are employed to provide expert advice to the line officers. If you observe the advantages, line managers give their specialized knowledge to staff at various level of work. The expert advice guidelines given by the staff officers to the line officers benefit the entire organizations. As the staff officers look at the detailed analysis of each important managerial activity, it relates that the line managers concentrate on specialized functions. They maintain the unity of command. Based upon the planned specialization, line and staff organizations has greater flexibility in the sense that new specialized activities can be added to the line activity without disturbing the line procedure. While some disadvantages also there. Confusion. First one is confusion. Throughout the organizations may arise if duties and responsibilities are not properly assigned between line manager and staff manager. There is generally a conflict between the line and staff executives. Line managers sometimes may resent in the activities of staff members, feeling that prestige and influence of the line managers suffer from the present specialists. The staff experts may be ineffective because they don't get the authority to implement the recommendations. System is quite expensive. Since staff members not accountable for the results, line managers deal with the problems in a more practical manner, but staff officials who are specialists in the field tend to be more theoretical. This may hamper the coordination in the organizations. Next one is matrix organizations. Matrix organization is like this. Matrix structure is organized to manage multiple dimensions. It provides for reporting levels both horizontal as well as vertically. Uses cross-functional reporting levels. Teams contribute to functional expertise as shown in the figure. Employees may belong to a particular functional group also, as well as team supports another programs also. If you observe this, it's very clear actually. Okay. Advantages is combines the advantages of both line and staff organizations, ensures achievements of objectives with the technical specializations, ensures effective utilization of available resources. Next, it's a high flexible. What are the disadvantages? Since this doesn't allow scalar chain of command, it leads to confusion. Too many supervisors controlling an activity, work may be delayed, leads to complexity and lack of commands. These things will be there. Okay. Next class, yeah, dear students, wait. Yeah. Next class we'll study in detail.